and welcome to Hard Copy, the program where we bring you the people behind the news. I'm Maupe Ogun. Well, Taraba is one of the more quiet northeastern states in Nigeria. It's been largely insulated from the Boko Haram crisis, which 3 states in the region have had to deal with. Blessed with a tremendous amount of arable land. As a matter of fact, the state covers the 3rd largest area in the country in climate both tropical and temperate. Taraba is truly what its bayline says it is, nature's gift to the nation. However, nature's gift appears not to have been fully appreciated, as the state's potential for agriculture and tourism might appear to be largely that, potential. Tonight on Hard Copy, I speak with Governor Darius Ishaku, who is the task of converting the potential to tangibles for the development of the state and the well-being of its citizens. Governor Ishaku, you're welcome to Hard Copy.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Now let's start with the fact that you've been in office now for 2 years, even though some of your aides say we should start counting from the time when you got victory at the Supreme Court. Now, I'm just wondering now, what was your immediate plan for the people of Taraba State, apart from the fact that you had to pay arrears of salaries when you resumed office?
Well, immediately I took over. 2 weeks after that, I printed what I call the Green Book, which is the guide I have been using ever since. And Taraba is basically on the tripod: agriculture, mining, and tourism. And then you can add power. Now, power is more difficult to develop. Tourism is even more difficult than power because of the interconnectivity you need in tourism. So I concentrated first and foremost on agriculture, and I'm now going to mining.
Okay.
So agriculture.
These are the first 2 you think will be quick wins?
Quick wins.
Okay, but let's quickly talk about tourism. I mean, one of the things that anyone who visits your state will notice is the beauty of Taraba.
Yeah.
You cannot but, wonder at the beauty
absolutely correct.
of the state has been endowed with. But very little seems to have been done. What precisely is the challenge with tourism?
The challenges are many. Tourism, I normally tell people, there are interconnectivity. And let me give you an example with Egypt.
Egypt?
Egypt. There was a time I wanted to visit my child overseas, and I couldn't get a booking, and they told me it's only Egyptian Air that is available. Reluctantly, I took it. It took me here in the afternoon and got me to Cairo in the evening and told me I had to stay overnight to connect a flight. And so I had to stay in the hotel. Now, early in the morning, I thought I was going to continue. No, they put my flight late in the afternoon. So I had almost 6 hours to 7 doing nothing. Meanwhile, my room was filled with pamphlets of all the interesting places to visit in Cairo, inclusive of the pyramid, which I have never visited. So I took it on. And on my way to the pyramid, I had passed over, I could count maybe at least 15 stopovers where they are showing me how paper was started, how this was started. Before I got to the pyramid, I'm back to my hotel to quickly pick my bag for my transit. I have spent well over $3,000.
Well, I hope you didn't miss your flight.
I didn't. But the fact is, why I'm saying connectivity, it started from Nigeria with a cheap flight, and then going into Cairo with a hotel accommodation and free feeding. And there, I had to now think of what to do with my time. And the tourism came in. And by the time I'm out, I have left $3,000 behind.
So how does this tie into Taraba?
Now, how it ties into Taraba, because I need somebody, or I need a connectivity right from the federal level, such that anybody who comes into Abuja will know where Taraba is even located and how to get there. And to do that, one of the top priorities I did in the state when I came on board was to open the airport. Now we have flights in and out of Taraba 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Monday, when you go in, you do your business. Tuesday, you can come back Wednesday. Wednesday, if you go in, you do your business. Thursday, you can come back Friday.
But that doesn't
But
really...
I'm trying to make it daily. That at least will bring you in to the state capital and out. Hitherto, we had to go to Yola, take a torturous 3 hours plus to get to Jalingo. And not many people can withstand that. And I'm telling you, this has created wonders. I had a German investor who flew in from Frankfurt to Abuja, took the flight to Jalingo, stayed a day, and then went up the mountain, stayed for 1 week. He came back and totally, completely, his idea about Nigeria and indeed Taraba changed.
But the thing about Taraba is not exactly in the way of Abuja, in the sense that it's not like as if it's around. It's not Nasarawa or Niger State. It's quite a distance away.
It can be anywhere.
And the thing again is that the communities within Taraba, you can travel for 8 hours, if not more, within the state itself.
More.
Isn't that right?
But the fact is, first of all, for you to get into the state, there has to be a connection. And now when you get into the state, there has to be connection to other places.
How are you doing that connection within other places? Because, I mean, in fairness to us...
We have tarred roads, federal government roads, over 47 billion, which has not been refunded. All federal roads that will lead you to these points that you want to go.
In the 2 years of your administration?
No. My predecessor did most of them. I am continuing with some of them. And as I'm talking to you now, even the place they want to build the hydropower, there's no connection of road or any facility there.
But you talked about how power should be one of the cardinal points for the development of Taraba State, isn't that right?
Yes, exactly.
Now the federal government has approved the Mambila hydropower project.
Which is a wonderful idea. I must sincerely thank Mr. President for doing that. We are very, very grateful indeed for Mr. President standing firm to do this hydropower station. 3,050 megawatts is a lot of power that will go to Nigerians.
How do you think it's then going to impact the development of the people of your state?
In fact, I cannot quantify it. In all manifestations, it's going to impact positively in terms of employment. Of course, generation of power alone, you can be sure that a lot of industries will move there because there will be power and constant power.
Do they have to move there?
Well, if they don't move, but you know that you are closer to the source of the power. So it's an attraction. We have tea. Our tea company, Highland Tea, which hitherto was moribund, I just brought it back to life by putting 400 kilowatts. That is 0.04 of a megawatt.